Most men make the same fatal mistake. And the painful part? They make it with the best intentions. They make it because they care, because she mattered, because the thought of losing her feels like losing oxygen. And when something threatens to take your oxygen away, you don't let go. You grip harder, you hold tighter, you do everything in your power to keep it close. So the moment she pulls away, they tighten their grip. They text more, sometimes 3 messages where 1 would have been enough, sometimes 10. They explain more, going over what went wrong, what they meant, what they should have said, as if the right combination of words will unlock something in her that will make her stay. They promise more. I'll change. I'll be better. Just give me one more chance. And through all of it, slowly, they shrink. They shrink their opinions, their boundaries, their self-respect. They bend themselves into shapes they were never meant to hold, all in the hope that this smaller, more accommodating version of themselves will be easier for her to love. And it doesn't work. It never works. Not because she is cruel, not because love isn't real, but because of a law so fundamental to human attraction that violating it always leads to the same result. They think effort creates attraction. It doesn't. Let me be very precise here, because this is where most men get it wrong. Effort can be beautiful. Effort in the right context. Building something, creating something, showing up consistently for someone who is fully present with you. That kind of effort is admirable. It is the foundation of anything worth having. But effort deployed from desperation is a different beast entirely. Effort without sovereignty creates desperation, and desperation is anti-attraction, not neutral, not unhelpful, anti. It actively destroys what you are trying to build. Every text sent from a place of anxiety makes her feel slightly more certain that leaving was the right call. Every over-explanation confirms that you are not okay. Every promise made from a place of fear rather than genuine growth lands hollow, because she can feel the difference even when she cannot articulate it. The nervous system doesn't lie, and hers is reading yours with extraordinary precision. When you are desperate, your body knows it. Your voice is slightly higher, your messages are slightly too long, your timing is slightly too fast. You respond before she has even finished thinking. These are not things she consciously analyzes. They are things she feels, and what she feels is a man who has lost his center, and a man without a center cannot be trusted to hold anything. Here is what most men cannot digest. The more you try to win her back, the more you confirm you lost yourself. This sounds backwards. It sounds like the opposite of love. We are raised on stories where persistence wins, where the man who never gives up gets the girl, where grand gestures and relentless pursuit are the ultimate proof of devotion. But those are stories, and this is attraction. Attraction is not moved by the intensity of your need. Attraction responds to the presence of your strength. And when every action you take is driven by fear of losing her, when every decision runs through the filter of, will this bring her back? You have already lost something far more important than her. You have lost yourself. The version of you she fell for, the one who had opinions, who had direction, who made her feel like she was entering someone's world rather than becoming someone's entire world, that version has been quietly replaced by a man whose entire existence has been reorganized around one question: how do I get her back? And she can feel that reorganization. It makes her feel powerful in a way that is not comfortable. It makes her feel responsible for your emotional state in a way that is not romantic. It makes her feel like the walls are closing in. So she pulls further away, and you grip harder, and the cycle continues until one of you breaks. Attraction responds to gravity, and gravity only belongs to the man who is centered. Think about what gravity actually is. It is not something you perform. It is not a strategy you deploy. It is the natural consequence of mass, of substance, of density, of something that genuinely exists and occupies space in the universe. Things with gravity don't need to chase. Other things are drawn to them by the simple fact of their existence. A man with gravity has a life that is full before she enters it. He has a mission that matters to him. He has a body he is building, a mind he is sharpening, a circle of people who respect him. He has standards, not as a tactic, but because he knows who he is and what he is worth. He has direction. He is going somewhere, and the direction he is going does not depend on whether she comes along. That man is magnetic, not because he is trying to be, because he simply is. And the man who has abandoned all of that in pursuit of a woman who is pulling away, he is the opposite of gravity. He is a vacuum, and vacuums don't attract, they only create discomfort in the people who get too close. Let's be brutally honest about the signals you send when you obsess over a woman who is pulling away. When you obsess over her, Your nervous system signals instability, not consciously, not deliberately, but unmistakably. The energy of obsession reads as anxiety, and anxiety, at its core, signals that something is wrong, that you are not safe, that the ground beneath you is not solid. People are not drawn toward instability, they step back from it. When you stalk her social media, watching her stories the moment they go up, checking who liked her photos, analyzing the timing of her posts for hidden meaning, you surrender psychological ground. You hand over the most precious real estate you have, your own mental space. You are filling it with her instead of yourself. And somewhere in you, you know this, and it makes you smaller. When you wait for her message, phone face up on the table, checking every few minutes, heart jumping at every notification, you place her at the center of your world, and the center is where power lives. Whoever occupies the center of your world holds power over your emotional state. They determine whether your day is good or bad. They determine whether you feel worthy or worthless. They determine the weather inside your mind. When you give someone that position, especially someone who is already pulling away, you are handing them a kind of power that most people, consciously or not, will take for granted, because that's what humans do with power that is freely given. They stop working for it. They stop treating it as precious. If she feels she is your emotional oxygen, she unconsciously relaxes, not into love, not into renewed desire, into comfort. You are secured, you are predictable, you are safe. She knows that no matter what she does, no matter how far she pulls back, you will be there, waiting, hoping, reaching. There is no uncertainty in that equation, and desire cannot live without uncertainty. Safe is comfortable, and comfortable is rarely desired. This is one of the most counterintuitive truths in all of human relationships, and it is also one of the most consistent. The more certain someone is of your devotion, the less they tend to value it. Not because they are bad people, but because the human brain is wired to want what feels slightly out of reach, slightly uncertain, slightly worth working for. When you make yourself completely available, completely transparent about your feelings, completely desperate for her to choose you, you eliminate all of that uncertainty. You make yourself comfortable, and comfort, as wonderful as it is in the right context, is the enemy of desire. She doesn't need to pursue you, she doesn't need to wonder. She already knows, and the things we already know we tend to stop thinking about. The dangerous shift happens when you stop chasing, not as a tactic but as a transformation. This distinction matters more than almost anything else in this conversation, so stay with me. Most dating advice will tell you to use no contact as a strategy. Wait a certain number of days. Go silent to make her miss you. Create artificial scarcity to drive up your perceived value. And sure, sometimes that produces short-term results, but it is hollow. It is a performance, and she will feel the performance beneath the surface, because you will feel it too. You will be white-knuckling your way through the silence, phone in hand, waiting for her to crack. That is not transformation. That is the same desperation wearing a different mask. The real shift is something else entirely. You stop checking her stories, not because you are forcing yourself not to, but because you genuinely have something more interesting to focus on. You stop analyzing her silence, not because you are pretending not to care, but because you have redirected that energy toward things that actually feed you. You stop waiting for her message, not because you are playing it cool, but because you are genuinely absorbed in becoming someone you are proud of. You redirect that energy into your body. You start training again, or harder, or differently. You remember what it feels like to be physical, to be strong, to live inside a body that you are deliberately building. You redirect it into your mission, the project you put on hold, the skill you never developed, the business you talked about but never started, the art you abandoned when life got complicated. You redirect it into your finances. You audit where your money is going. You build something. You create something. You take the mental energy you were spending on her and you invest it in your future. You redirect it into your mind. You read, you think, you have conversations that challenge you. You become someone with perspectives worth having and ideas worth sharing. You rebuild your core, not for her, not to make her jealous, not to show her what she is missing, not as a 14-step plan to get her back, for sovereignty, for the simple, radical, revolutionary act of choosing yourself, fully, without apology, without a backup plan that involves her. And then something shifts. It is not dramatic, it does not announce itself, but it is unmistakable to anyone paying attention. You are no longer reacting to her absence. You are expanding despite it. That is the key word, despite. Not because of her leaving, not in spite of her leaving, despite it, meaning her absence has become irrelevant to your trajectory. You are going somewhere. You are always going somewhere, and her decision to not come along has not changed the destination. This is what becoming unmoved looks like in practice. Not cold, not indifferent, not pretending you don't feel the loss because you do, but feeling the loss and expanding anyway, grieving and building at the same time, honoring what it meant and refusing to let it define your ceiling. When a man detaches from outcome, he becomes magnetic again. Not because he is playing hard to get. Playing hard to get is a game, and games are exhausting, and they attract people who enjoy games. But because he is no longer trying to get anything, there is a profound difference between a man who is withholding and a man who is complete. The withholding man is still focused on her, still managing her perception of him, still calibrating his behavior against her reactions, still fundamentally organized around her response. The complete man is focused on himself, on his life, on what he is building, on who he is becoming. And that completeness, that self-possession, is the most attractive quality a human being can possess. Here is the part most men don't want to hear, and it is also the part that will free you if you let it. If she never comes back, you still win. Not as a consolation prize, not as a silver lining, as the actual primary outcome of doing this work correctly. Because what you build in her absence belongs to you. The discipline you develop, the clarity you find, the self-respect you reclaim, the life you construct when you stop putting your life on hold and start actually living it. None of that depends on her return. All of it makes you a more complete, more capable, more sovereign human being, regardless of what she decides, because you reclaimed yourself. And reclaiming yourself, knowing who you are, what you stand for, what you will and will not accept, what you are capable of when you stop making someone else's approval the condition for your effort. That is not a consolation prize. That is the whole point. The man who comes out the other side of a painful separation more focused, more purposeful, more himself than he was going in. That man has not lost. That man has alchemized loss into growth, and he will carry that growth into every room he walks into for the rest of his life. And if she does come back, she will not return to a beggar. She will not return to the version of you that was unraveling, the version that was checking her location, sending late-night messages, cycling between anger and apology, willing to shrink into any shape she needed just to feel chosen. That version had no throne. That version was on his knees. She will return to a man who survived her absence, not just survived it, but used it. A man who looked at the empty space she left and decided to fill it with himself, his growth, his mission, his becoming. She will return to a man who, when she walks back in, does not collapse with relief, who meets her with warmth and openness, but not desperation, who is genuinely glad to see her, but does not need her to be okay. She will return to a throne, not the throne of arrogance, not the throne of performance, the throne of a man who knows his worth, not because someone told him, not because she came back, but because he built it himself, brick by brick, in the silence she left behind. And that throne, that self-possessed, self-constructed, sovereign foundation is the only place from which anything real, anything lasting, anything truly worth having can be built. Stop waiting for her to come back before you start living. Stop checking her profile. Stop rehearsing what you would say if she texted. Stop measuring your worth by her silence. Begin now, today. Not because it will bring her back. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. That is not the point. Begin because your life is not a waiting room. Begin because the man you are capable of becoming has been patient long enough. Begin because every day you spend orbiting her absence is a day you are not building your own gravity. The man who needs nothing is the man everyone wants. The man who has reclaimed himself is the man worth returning to. The man who stopped chasing and started building, that man doesn't need to chase anything. Everything worth having will find its way to him. You stopped chasing, you started building, you returned to yourself. And that was the most powerful thing you ever did. Mind feral.